Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of C&C Explain It All. I'm your girl, C1.
And I'm C2.
Yes. And today, C&C Explain why we're actually on the villain side. But before we get to that, we always got to start with our comfits. So, in honor of today's topic, I'm rocking my Grey's Anatomy t-shirt. It says I watch Grey's, and then it has all these wonderful things if you watch Grey's, crash cart, scrub in, ordering a CT. All those things at the very bottom, it says I'm basically a surgeon because I watch Grey's Anatomy because why not? 20 plus seasons, you're basically there. What are you rocking, C2?
Well, I would definitely say that I would totally trust you to do my surgery.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Certified.
I am rocking a greatest love story of all time t-shirt with Lady and the Tramp on it. And the Tramp is one of the most misunderstood villains. He could have had a better name, but he ended up being in one of the best love stories that have ever been told and one of the best classic Disney films that is out there. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some misunderstood villains. There are times that, they're not really as bad as we're told they are. And we are here for it today, where we're going to go through some super fun villains and talk about why we're actually on their side.
Yes. And I think the cool thing that we're also going to do is because sometimes villains can be redeemed. Like they got some redeeming qualities. And so we will do a redemption scale for each of the characters that we brought today. So I'm excited to get started.
Swear all live in harmony. Take me to that place I see.
And it's only right that we start with everyone's professor, Professor Snape.
Perfect. So, Professor Snape, easily one of the most controversial characters in the Harry Potter saga. You've read about him, you've watched about him, and you just want to hate him. You really want to hate him
Yeah,
throughout all of it.
hate is
He's
strong.
cold, he's cruel, he's emotionally unstable. He looks like this all the time. Like, he never smiles. Have we seen him smile ever?
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
think
his
so.
teeth look like.
Does he have teeth? Have we confirmed that there are teeth there?
I don't know. It's funny because actually, when I first started watching Harry Potter or reading Harry Potter, I got kind of confused with Voldemort all the time
Oh
because
yeah, same.
his face, it's a mean face.
Same. Dark, cloaky. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But he's just out here openly bullying children and all the way through their adolescent years. And just some of the tricks that he pulls on people, you're just like, what is this man's deal? But okay, so like, I get it. He's super toxic. We see that very outwardly, but those who know, they know. Like, he's just he's someone who needs redemption. We think about baby Snape, who we've gotten to learn throughout all of the movies and the books. The books are way more descriptive, so definitely read the books if you haven't.
Yes.
But really, he grew up in a situation where he didn't have a ton of friends, and he tried really hard to hang out with the group of people that surrounded James Potter, and he just kept getting bullied. And that was just his place in life as he was going through Hogwarts himself, and it's really sad. But he fell in love with someone named Lily, insert maiden name here, and he could never let that love go. And I think that something that sticks with everyone is that he was later on asked down the movies if he still loved Lily long after her and James were killed by Voldemort. And he said the infamous line, always. So we know that Snape, one, has a heart, and two, all this time that he has been really just trying to stand up and keep Harry safe. He picks on him. He's definitely emotionally abusive towards him, but he never lets him die. And there's many times when Harry probably could have died.
Probably.
And he's still there. He's always there to save him and to stand behind him. And we all know that that's just how he feels that he needs to carry on his love for Lily.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all have like that, probably that person that we like love from afar, right? You're like I don't want to be in your presence, but at the same time, like the me within will not allow me to let you fail or to let you die if we want to go to the extreme.
Mm.
So I think that we all feel that in some way. I mean, I definitely think there's also, I think you can describe that as like friendships too, right? Like, you grow when you have friends at a certain age and you grow up and you go different paths and you're like, I'm not really on that path with you. However, I always wish you well. As one of those things. So, and of the couple of books, I don't even know how many books and or movies that I read because I was required to in middle school. Um, out of all of them, I mean, if I were to like give a redemption meter for this guy, I mean, I'm looking at 3, 4. And I don't even know the current story. I just know up until a certain part. You know what I mean? But I'm feeling 3 or 4.
I mean, I don't know. It's so hard for me because obviously, like, the warmest heart and the brightest souled human in the entirety of the series is Dumbledore. And for some reason, Dumbledore continues to confide in Snape and he sees something in Snape that really not a single other wizard sees in him. And he just until the very end, he trusts Snape. And even though Snape was definitely the reason for Dumbledore officially dying, he and Snape did kind of concoct that together, but it didn't necessarily have to happen. So, like, meh, it's hard. I think that I would give him like a six.
A 6.
A
Okay.
six?
I guess we gotta determine what is our rating. Is it like 1 is redeemable and 10 is not?
I was
Or
definitely thinking the opposite.
so 1 is can be redeemed.
One is not redeemable.
Oh, you cannot be redeemed.
10 is you can be redeemed officially.
Oh, got it. Okay, so you're saying 6. All
I'm
right.
saying six.
All right.
I
Mine still stands.
the soul is there. It's there. I know that he wants to do the right thing,
Yeah.
but he'll never apologize for doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's fair. Like he gets some points for like not killing Harry and letting Harry be killed.
Yeah.
Um, but also bullying children is like, wah, wah, wah.
And he definitely does that from the age of 11 onward.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I get
like,
it.
I'm thinking about though someone that like maybe I've stayed loyal to, even
Mhm.
though it hurt me to stay loyal to them, kind of like how he was with Lily in terms of him protecting Harry.
Yeah.
And I really resonate with that. Like, I
Yeah.
think about a couple of individuals in my life or who have been in my life where no matter what, I have gone back to them or I have maybe made some distance while I had time to sort through how I was going to act in that relationship, but I still remained loyal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying, like I think it can pertain to a lot of different types of relationships. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but interesting, the six there. And speaking of like loyalty and loving from afar, I think one of the people that I was going to talk about, actually, he's not a person. He's a strawberry scented teddy bear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about Lotso. Lotso, if you guys have seen Toy Story, you know that he is the strawberry scented teddy bear that comes in and just wreaks havoc on everyone. Look at him. Crazy looking. But it all stems from loyalty. He was a loyal toy. He was a dependable toy. He was always there for his girl Daisy. And Daisy just like left him at a park or something one night. Couldn't care less. Dipped. And then he found out that she was messing with other toys and rightfully so, I get it, right? It's almost like friends, right? Like maybe you have like a friend and like you're no longer as close. And so you see them getting closer to someone else. And you're like, it's fine because we're not that close anymore. But I also don't like that you are getting close. But Lotso felt that. He felt that real heavy. And in his own way, he went to our lovely toys, Woody, Buzz, and the whole crew. And he, in his own way, was trying to stop them from feeling the hurt that he felt when he got abandoned. Even though they were not abandoned, if you guys watched the storyline, spoiler alert, we should put that at the very beginning. But they were fine. They were living a good life. But Lotso was trying to help them and he was leading them honestly astray because he was like, I'm trying to make sure that you don't feel the pain. And that pain he kind of used as a shield and instilled fear instead of like actually helping. And, kind of like I was saying a little earlier, like I understand the like for sure abandonment. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that I feel like I've been abandoned, but I can understand if you have given your all to someone or you've put so much into a relationship and then it's very easy for that person to go off and start a new relationship as if your relationship meant nothing. I understand that. Obviously, I'm not a toy, but I'm a human and I've had relationships and it happens. You know what I mean? And so I
You
understand
mean
Lotso in that.
you're not strawberry scented?
I am not, I mean, I wish I was strawberry scented. But I definitely understand Lotso in that sense. Now, did he try and incinerate Woody and the other toys? Yes. Yes, we cannot ignore it. I actually cried at that part of the movie. It was a horrible moment for Lotso, but he was hurting and he thought that he was going to free them from the hurt. So, would I incinerate my friends? No. Even if I thought I was going to save them. But that's what Lotso thought was
Mm.
the good thing.
Well,
And you know what I mean? Like tomatoes, tomatoes. But I get the guy. I get him. I think it's hurtful. It's hurtful to not feel loved. I understand that. It is a pain that no one wants to feel, is not to be wanted and or loved.
I I'm really happy that you wouldn't incinerate your friends. I think that there was a really long, incredible monologue there, and I feel like I really latched to that part. I've known you for many years, and I haven't gotten that vibe, but just the little reassurance was helpful.
I just want to make sure. I just want to clarify.
Okay, great.
While I understand, I don't know if the actions are the best.
In fairness, I do just need to drop in here that Snape never tried to incinerate his coworkers or children.
He was trying to help them. And I mean, did another Toy Story come out after that? It sure did,
It sure did.
because he did not incinerate them. So
Thank goodness.
it's just a little, just,
Uh, I
just keep them on
mean,
their toes. That's all.
for many other reasons other than incineration, I do also connect with Lotso. I understand. I do wish that I was strawberry scented. I feel like that would be a really unique thing. I feel like it'd lean more towards like strawberry shortcake, not like an angry bear. But I mean, same idea.
Yeah.
I think about this like really loose connection here of replacement, and it was going to come out some point, but in a previous career of mine, there was definitely a time where I was like, there's another human being that is working with me who is in the same position as me. I am 100% going to be replaced by this individual.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't really connect any of the dots behind these stories, and just like the way that I felt during that time was just so horrible. Never once did I want to put anyone in an incinerator. That also was not an option.
Fair.
But It was a really confusing time for me to feel like I was being replaced.
Yeah.
So I can absolutely resonate with the things that Lotso was feeling. I definitely changed my tone of voice and how I was speaking with my coworkers outside of my location because I was confused. I was in a state of panic. I was in a state of the spotlight is on me. And this went on for 9 months before suddenly this person was just sent somewhere else. And then I was even more confused. So it just was like this really weird situation for me where I didn't know who I was and what I was entitled to within that role anymore because of this other individual. So I totally get it. He is like, I'm not important anymore. This isn't my stage anymore. I have been forgotten. This is not where I belong now. And dang, that's a hard feeling to grasp.
It is. It's very hard and very real. And very real. Shout out to kids' movies and Pixar with the big messages because oh, it's painful.
I can
It's
see a
painful.
future episode of talking about Pixar's big messages.
Oh my gosh. What a deep dive that would be. Goodness. Yeah, no, definitely, like I said, relates to the real life out here. I mean, if even I think going back to the incineration situation, like a redemption situation with him, it's a little hard. It's a little hard because he did not do it. And in his mind, he was trying to help them.
Yeah.
He was trying to help them not get attached, and not feel that same feeling of abandonment and replace the idea that you could be replaced and thrown away. I think at one point he says, like, you just get tossed away, love doesn't exist,
Yeah.
uh, which is a real feeling. But on the redemption, I mean, I would say he's like a 6 or a 7 for me. I think he just needs to be washed, cleaned up, and like, you know, yeah.
You know, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum for this one. I don't think that telling people to delete themselves is a good way for them to stop having feelings. So I am
Okay,
going to go with a 2.
that's fair. To be fair, he wasn't telling them, he was kind of doing it
Gonna do it for them.
for them.
I'm
So
choosing words carefully here.
I think you need to give him an extra 2 points for that.
2.
Sorry, Lotso, I tried. I
Lots
tried,
of you
buddy.
have a need for some additional strawberry scents and a good washing and a hug. Then we'll talk.
I tried, Lotso. I tried to help you out, buddy. It's 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 the dark incinerator that got you, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Well, our very next one is she's someone with a lot of power, and she might be drawing it all in and feel like she's the man,
Mm.
as Taylor Swift would say.
Hashtag too sweet.
So, you know, got to bring her in at all times. Now we're going to switch over to talking about Miss Miranda from The Devil Wears Prada. And a little drop here. Devil Prada Wears 2 coming out soon.
Yep. When
They
our
are
girl
back
Anne Hathaway.
back at it. I love this duo. So really excited to see what they're able to bring to the story, but I definitely owned this one on DVD and I loved it. So the woman that everyone loves to hate.
Yeah.
And I truly, honestly believe that it's all just in her power. And she she's demanding. She's emotionally distant. She is the stereotypical woman in heels who works for a fashion designer in a movie from the early 2000s,
Hmm.
right? They were all like that.
Yeah.
And she makes her assistant jump through rings of fire for literally every assignment that she gives her, no matter how small, no matter how large. Little loose connection to Harry Potter here, because I do remember Andy having to do an assignment on Harry Potter when she first began. I don't remember any of the details. Um,
You're
but
lying.
it was like she cared about the details. She cared about her job. It was what she had, and it was her life. It was everything that she cared about. But you you didn't get the pleasantries from her.
Hmm.
And I get it, I see it, I feel it, but I think we need to dive in a little bit deeper with that. Because this was for everything. She demanded excellence. She didn't provide any coddling because she knew that everyone that she brought onto her team could be the best versions of themselves. And that was how she could really just set those standards and help everyone to celebrate the progress that they were making within their roles. Now, not everyone was living their lives and having work as being the number one priority, like Miranda may have. But we did see her kind of start to break down a little bit throughout the movie and
Yeah.
show that she had a heart and a world of connection. I mean, the relationship that she built with Anne Hathaway's character was definitely something that existed. And, she was just an ambitious woman.
Yeah.
And we are really great at villainizing ambitious women.
Hmm. Absolutely. I think the other thing about Miranda, and maybe not so much because I guess there's pieces of it. Like she was in the movie, right? In her setting in the movie. She was in a cutthroat industry for women at that level,
Hmm.
right? Which is where a lot of that tough love comes from. Of wanting to be the best because you almost feel like you can't be anything less than, because anything less than 150% is going to be trash for this individual, but it could be amazing for that individual. And
Yep.
I think like obviously you understand, I think in real life, right? We can understand what our role and our titles mean, especially as women, and how important that is, and the pressure that whether it's our environment or the field puts on us, but then also what we put on ourselves.
Hmm.
There's been several times throughout my career where a title has made me feel not only privileged, but also like, oh gosh, like I can't be anything less than perfect
Yeah.
because, I have this title. I have to make sure that I am the example for all women. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing. And so like I definitely relate to Miranda in that sense, um, of like just always needing to feel like you have to prove yourself, even if no one is necessarily telling you that, but like you just understand like it comes with being a powerful woman. And that's the crazy part.
Yeah, and what's even crazier for me is that I have naturally positioned myself in a completely different sense in some of the roles where I just continuously gained a little bit more power. And it was almost as if like that wasn't ever going to be good enough. So for me, I'm very much naturally softer. And I still feel as though like that soft side, as long as there's directness that's attached to it, can get things done. Like I
Mhm.
don't need to go into a room and start yelling at people, right?
Yeah.
I've learned
Yeah.
that that's not always necessary. I mean, I can definitely crank it up if I have to, but I start soft. And there were many times as I progressed through my previous career path that I was told that if I'm not yelling at people, I'm not doing my job.
Mhm.
And like that just doesn't feel good. That feels really gross. And now I've switched careers and I'm in a completely different industry. And there have been times here where I feel like I'm getting really strict and I'm laying down the law on certain things and being a little bit more like to the point. And I almost feel like I have to apologize for being that way because this career path is a lot softer. So
Yeah.
it's just like I'm really stuck in trying to find this balance in my life where I've never been that person, but I've obviously taken some of those different things with me from previous lives.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely don't relate to the sense of the yelling and the verbal abuse, but
No.
but definitely in the sense of um earning respect, right? Like how do you earn respect? as opposed to like frighten people into giving you respect because it's not even really, it's not respect, it's fear. There's a difference between
Exactly.
fear and respect. Um, and so yeah, definitely have learned that throughout uh my various careers in life. But and I also look at I think Miranda is such a she's such a powerful character. And I mean, it doesn't hurt that Meryl Streep is playing her, who, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, hello. But she's such a powerful character, but to your point, also a character that we've seen so many times um, come in and be very strong and know what they want and know how to get it, but be seen as the villain,
Yeah,
the villain and heartless and cold. And in reality, they're just guarded people. You know what I mean? Like, because they are trying to survive and thrive like everybody else. Uh,
right.
but maybe, they have one less, life jacket than some other people who may have a couple more. And so I definitely relate to her in that sense. But I also there's like a limit of how many characters I can watch like that. You know what I mean? Because there are so many,
There's
and
so
like
many.
they have to be portrayed in a way that is redeemable. That's the only way I can watch stuff like that. Because otherwise, I'm like, ugh, stereotypes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
But
makes me immediately think of Sandra Bullock's character in The Proposal. And she's
yes,
like, ugh, she's so much. Like there was a stretch in terms of
yes,
redeeming her, especially with all the things that she put Ryan Reynolds' character through. Like that was a very challenging redemption for me. But that's like her personality was fear. And I really
yes,
don't think that Meryl Streep's character in Devil Wears Prada is fear. I think that
yeah,
it's just perfection.
yeah, yeah. Oh, The Proposal, one of my favorite movies. But
I mean, it's great. However,
yes,
the
however, yes,
redemption line, it doesn't really connect.
yeah. Oh, so what would you give redemption wise then for Miranda?
Oh, Miranda, I really think that she gets a solid 8 from me.
An
I
eight?
stand behind that.
Yeah, I feel like an eight. Yeah, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything that I don't think you would see in like a normal work space. Like
Mhm.
nothing that is like, well, I'm not speaking on behalf of Anne Hathaway's character, but
Yeah.
none that seemed traumatizing to where I like someone cannot return from it. But like I said earlier, a little bit tough love, you know what I mean? To see your potential. So I say like an eight. An eight is probably a solid one.
Look at us aligning on that.
Yeah. I
I like it.
Miranda's a well-rounded character. Um, and so when the writing is right, then you feel all right.
Perfect.
That's what they say, right?
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, Miranda's such a good character. Goes down in history books. But speaking of another character, female character that is, I guess you could say, portrayed as being strong, independent, and fierce, which are not untrue things about her, but our good old uh, friend Sue Sylvester. Where are my gleeks at? Where are my gleeks at? Sue Sylvester. Man, oh man. Yeah, I mean, one, she can rock an amazing tracksuit. I mean, I was jealous of her tracksuit collection, that is for sure. But she kind of goes back on a theme that we talked about a little bit earlier today about bullying children. If there's if there's actually now that I think about it, Lotso kind of bullied ish. He kind of bullied children ish, bullied their toys.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Sue Sylvester is probably one of the biggest bullies in television history, to be honest. Um, I mean, if you watched any episode, I mean, you don't even have to watch that. You don't even have to watch a full season of Glee to understand that Sue read every student in that school for filth. Every day, every period, every class, every teacher, everyone read for filth. Now, if you also watch the show, you know that she had a special place in her heart for certain students. And honestly, at the core of Sue Sylvester, every time she bullied those children, it was always to make them better. Every time she bullied them, they did something spectacular, whether it was like they came up with a collaboration or performance. It's because of the fear and the pain and the hurt that Sue Sylvester created that they were able to go deep down inside their souls and find that music, find that tune, find that voice to have an amazing mashup performance that we all enjoyed. So, I mean, Sue is, I think she can also fall in that bucket of having a hard exterior, you know what I mean, to like protect her true feelings, like not to get hurt. And so like her her what do you call it? Her lashing out is a way to protect herself from hurting within the inside. And so that's why I think that she, at the end of the day, is one of those characters that for sure is meant to be the villain of the TV show, like without a doubt. But when you do, like, if you go back and you look at those episodes and you look at, you know, her interactions with some of those main characters, it usually created some of the best uh, music and performances. And so I'm not saying that her method was right, but I do feel like her tough love for those students showed that she cared. Like that was Sue's way of showing she cared. If Sue did not have a bad word to say about you, it's because she didn't think you were even worth her negative words at all. Like that's how I see it. That's how I see it. And I feel like there's a lot of people in this world who are just like you just know. You're like, yep, they may say something crazy to me every single day, but you know what? The day that they don't say something crazy to me, I'm gonna feel like something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's it's a weird feeling. And that's how she was with those students. And you know what? They didn't care. They may have cried a couple times, but they became better because of it. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
come from pressure.
you're not wrong. The amount of pressure that she put on the students was insurmountable. However, she also put just an incredible amount of pressure on every single one of her coworkers.
Everyone. No
Everyone.
one was safe.
Like, there wasn't a day that went by that she didn't harass Will. And I don't even understand the amount of times that they were interacting because like he coaches Glee and she's in athletics and it really doesn't mesh. But you know what? They made it happen.
Yeah.
And she's just got this overwhelming presence within this school and everyone knows her and everyone fears her. And the way that she just like weaponizes her sarcasm, I'm just like,
That's,
goodness.
that's a good
But
way to look at it.
what I think is awesome is that Jane Lynch plays very sarcastic characters in every single role, for the
Mm,
most part, that she's
yeah.
in. And it makes me feel like there's probably so much of that that she is just coming up with in the moment. And she just has to be really good at that too. So I
Yeah.
do love that aspect of it with how much sarcasm is in the role because of how well it correlates with her other roles that she plays.
Yeah. I to that point too, I think sometimes again it goes back to writing,
Hmm.
right? Like it can be too much. Like oh my God, like will it ever stop? But I think the way that they wrote her and her interactions with the characters, it truly was comedy. Like you're like you had to laugh. It was just written so well and set up so well that it didn't feel malicious. You
Right.
know what I
But
mean? Which is weird because she was
she
saying some crazy stuff,
She did,
but
but
it
it
didn't
was
feel
never
good.
wrong.
Yeah, like it was never wrong. Actually, now that you think about it, yeah.
It was
Like,
never wrong. Like I don't think she ever like went to the point where she was like even over exaggerating the truth. She was just telling it how it was.
yeah, well, we go back to like, someone who's very honest and straightforward being, you know, cold and heartless and all these things. And it's in reality, like that's just how they function.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think her character was one of those characters that was just they were great and like they had the perfect person to your point to play Because I also think that if they had a different character play her, I think it would have came off in that way that it's like, oh, this is annoying. Like, okay, we get it. We get it. You
Yeah.
know?
But I think too, like in the right moments, she showed the love that mattered. And I think I can't remember specifically like what the episode was about, but there were definitely times that Sue used her voice to speak up on behalf of the staff as a whole.
Yeah.
And they were all like that was beneficial because she doesn't care, right? She's going to
Yeah.
stand up no matter what and speak what she feels is correct, even if everyone else keeps their mouth closed. So that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And then I think about something that just goes to the wayside all the time, and that's Sue's sister. Do you remember Sue's sister?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. But did she go to the school? Wasn't she a student or was she just there all the time?
Think she was just there. I think she was
Oh,
older. They were
yeah.
similar in age, maybe a little bit younger than her,
Yeah.
but she had really bad Down syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope, I do remember that. She was in actually quite a few episodes because
Hmm.
I don't believe she was like a regular character, but you felt like you saw her a lot.
Yeah.
That was, also the times that you saw Sue be different, the other Sue.
Yep.
Um, you know, I, going back to that like tough love and pressure, creating diamonds, and I feel like I tell this story all the time, but in my past life, there was one visit in particular that I had, and I've had several. There was one visit in particular that I had um, on my birthday of all days, and the location was trashed, and we got a nice visit from one of the uppers, and he came in and read me and the whole team for filth for how the store looked. And I stayed that whole night. It was crazy. I literally didn't go home um, on my birthday. And there's good to this though. So had that visit. It was a horrible, horrible visit, and nothing like positive was said, which rightfully so. There was nothing positive to necessarily say. The very next visit, uh, walked with the same person, and everything was like, obviously, I had perfected everything else because I was like, we're never letting that happen again. But we walked the visit, and at the end of the visit, they asked me the question, and they were like, "Well, do you know why I was so hard on you last time I was here?" And I was like, "No, please tell me," because it was horrible. And they were like, "Because I see your potential and I know what you can do, and I needed to push you. You needed to be pushed, and I don't feel like you're being pushed enough." And then they were like, "You have improved so much since the last time I was here, and that's why I did that." So he was like, "Never doubt yourself. Know that everything is coming from a place of like development and support." He didn't say love, but I felt like in my heart I was like love.
Mhm.
Um, and so, it stung the first time. It absolutely stung, but to hear why he presented it that way, and that's just how he presents, it did make me better
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm never going to be caught in that position again. And so you build your skill set, you build routines, you do whatever you got to do to make sure you don't end up in that same position. And so like that's what I also get from Sue is like that person that no one necessarily wants to be the bad guy, but you got to have at least someone in your corner that will tell you the truth
Yeah.
so that you can do what you got to do to fix whatever it is, whether it be work or personal life, right? Like
Hmm.
be honest with me. Because you need the honesty in order to grow. So that's why I have a little soft spot in my heart for Sue. Because I had that experience. So
I think that that's a powerful experience, and I think that Sue's well-roundedness of her like really showing the why in
Hmm.
similar ways to the leader who explained the why to you
Yeah.
is what really shows that she's not as much of a villain as we make her out to be. And that's what makes people leaders, right?
Yeah.
So with
Absolutely.
that, what's her redemption score?
You know what? She's probably gonna be like a 7, 8 for me. Only because, again, I don't think she's an evil person by any means. I think she truly is just a very straightforward and blunt person, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. And that to me you can be redeemed.
Yeah, I would definitely put her on the same score between a 7 and an 8. Her heart's in the right place, and you see how like motherly she is to her sister. And I mean, do we always have to sugarcoat honesty when we share it?
Mm,
There's not always the right place and time for that, especially depending on the individuals that you're working with at the time.
yeah.
Sometimes you just have to shoot straight to honesty. So
Yeah.
I'll give her some credit, and the tracksuits definitely help. So,
Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. The
yeah,
tracksuits do help. Fashion at its finest.
yeah. And she's a name that everyone knows. So she definitely earned that title in Glee.
Oh yeah. And speaking of names that everybody knows, hello, 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 paging Dr. Drama. Ladies and gents, our last character to round out our conversation today is the one, the only Dr. Addison Forbes Montgomery, formerly Shepherd, double certified neonatal surgeon across the country. Man, oh man, when we're talking about misunderstood villains here, who could forget her infamous first line on Grey's Anatomy? And you must be the woman who's sleeping with my husband. Yes, bomb dropped. Addison Forbes Montgomery came in with her fur, her red locks, her fierce attitude, and she came in to claim her husband. Now, did she come in hot? Absolutely. Did we love it? Probably not at the time, because you know what that meant? If Addison was there and she was married to Dr. McDreamy, that meant that Mayor Dare, the infamous Mayor Dare couple, would be seeing some struggles in the future episodes. But man, what a turn of events for this character. I mean, first of all, one of the best interests of a character in television ever. Like, argue with the wall. Argue with the wall. One of the best interests, but you can clearly tell she was set up to eliminate Meridair and create that friction and that back and forth pull. And the crazy part is, as you got to know Addison, you realize that she saves babies for a living and mothers, and she's a huge advocate for women's health. And she's this renowned surgeon across the country. I mean, this lady is at the top of her game in every single thing that she does. And yes, she's done wrong, right? Like, obviously, there's a reason McDreamy left, and it's because hashtag McSteamy. We all know that entrance and how he entered into the Grey's Anatomy world. But Addison never shied away from it. She admitted to it. She owned up to it. She apologized for it. And because of that, she wanted to come back and get her man. And it's crazy because like when you see this character, when she's introduced, you expect her to be this very bitter, cold, uh, malicious wife. And in reality, she's honestly just like hurt. Like she's just like, look, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I want my husband back. I want her life back. And eventually, when she learns that that's probably not going to be the case, she's fine with that, right? Like she does her best to make amends and to even become friends with the other woman, right? And so I think that, we talked about writing earlier. The thing that I love about Addison is that when they wrote her, that was the sole purpose. But because of how the actress Kate Walsh, shout out to Kate Walsh, how she portrayed that character and how they were able to flesh her out after seeing the fan response to it, Addison ended up becoming one of the most compassionate, one of the most genuine, one of the most honest, and most well-loved characters on Grey's Anatomy. And she wasn't even supposed to be there that long. So much so that she got her own spin-off. Ladies and gentlemen, she came in as a villain to just disrupt the holy grail of Meredith and got her own show because of how popular she was. So when you talk about a misunderstood villain, you cannot have that conversation without Addison. You just can't. I mean, I like I don't even know how to I don't even know how to add anything more. Like I can't gloat on her anymore. I think, the writing, and if you watch the show, it says it does it for herself. She went from being one-dimensional to just this well-rounded, amazing example of someone who can redeem themselves in the eyes of viewers in the most genuine and honest way and make you root for her to get her own show. I could talk about Addison all day. Golly, I love her so much.
See, I'm about to come in as a non-Grey's Anatomy watcher, and I'm gonna really rattle the stage here because I'm sorry. Who's the villain in this situation? It's the opposite of her.
It's
It
Meredith.
is 100% Meredith and Derek. What?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Courtney, you speak truth. You
This,
speak truth.
look at this innocent little girl. She's just like finding her way in her career. She's so young here.
She is.
And we, as a country, just decided we hated her because she's breaking up an affair that's happening with her husband.
Right? It makes no logical
Mm.
sense.
Mm. I have so many words. Like, we're not talking about the fact that I don't know much of the backstory, so super
Mhm.
sorry, taking it from the top here. But we're not talking about the fact that he literally left to go work in Seattle,
Yeah.
and she's just like chilling.
Yeah, she's back in New York.
She's just chilling on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
And eventually she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm his wife, and we hate her because she's married to him."
Oh gosh, it's such a weird thing.
That
Um, I will tell you what, as a Grey's Anatomy watcher, I am so sorry. I hope I don't get canceled. But as a Grey's Anatomy watcher, as soon as Addison came on my screen, Deuces, Meridair. Like I was rooting for Addison and Derek. And then I got to the point where I hated Derek. So like then I was just rooting for Addison. I was like, all right, well, that's it. Um, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's a crazy concept. But again, the writing, like she literally said one line and it was havoc. And at this time, social media was probably, this was like 2006, seven. So social media was not as big and as popular as it is now. So how you heard about stuff like this is at school in the bathroom or in the hallways. And this was one of those moments that I remember as a kiddo, people talking about, but I wasn't watching Grey's at that time. Everybody would just come to school and talk about it. And I'd be like, oh, you watch Grey's? Ew.
Ew, hospital
Ew.
show.
Hospital doctors? Meanwhile, I'm watching Law and Order SVU, which at the young age of like 13. But yeah, it was such a big moment in TV. And that is also one of the things that solidified Shonda Rhimes as a force to be reckoned with because of what she does to characters that are meant to come in for 1 or 2 episodes. And she listens to the response and she listens to the people. And sometimes she'll take it and she'll make them worse and be like, oh, you hate them? Great, you're gonna hate them more.
Yeah.
Or she'll read off of that and turn it around and, create a character like Addison who gained her own following. Um, and so it's just, man, again, if you look up any list of TV shows, movies, and you look up misunderstood villains, more than likely, about 98% of the time, you will see Addison Forbes Montgomery Shepherd,
Yeah.
because she is the ultimate redemption story from something that she honestly probably didn't even need to redeem herself from, but she's so good, she did anyway.
Well, I am taking that and I'm like, she's unfairly cast as the villain in her own story.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know any of the whys behind her and Derek and their things and him moving to see whatever,
Yeah.
but it's still her story. And
Yeah.
she's made out to be the villain for just living her story. And I am sure every single person who watches this episode has felt like they're the villain in their own story for not doing anything but living their life the way that they are,
Just trying to live.
just living life. Like,
I know.
oh, I mean, I think back to when I was a kid and I was so quiet. I was just like a quiet, good girl. I just went to school, I did my work, I talked to my friends, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
And by the time we got into like upper elementary school and middle school, that made me into some crazy villain because I didn't talk a lot. I was just quiet.
Yeah.
And the stories that people would come up with to
Yeah.
fill the void were crazy. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. No,
I did what yesterday?
oh, they're like, oh, Courtney beat that one girl in the playground yesterday.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. And then like when boys started getting involved, ugh,
Oh
the
God.
the things that girls would say about me. I'm like, who do you think I am?
I mean, truth. I mean, very similar, right? Like I was also um a quieter individual all through like growing up in school and stuff. And um yeah, it was definitely I think we've all got our villain our villain origin story somewhere.
Goodness.
But yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing. And Court were kind of and I were kind of talking about how we also have a lot of females, people that we or characters that we had in our minds as like villains. And a lot of them popped up as women. And, going back to that conversation we had about, Miranda and Sue and I mean, even Addison, right? The bitter ex-wife. Um, how it's so easy for us to visualize women as villains in their own story,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's a through line for honestly, probably Sue, not so much, but like for sure Miranda, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Addison, maybe a little bit of Sue, but it's just so interesting how that from a society's impact and like a media impact, like all of that kind of creates that stereotype of women.
Yeah, I really, if you haven't, and you live under a rock or something, if you haven't listened to The Man by Taylor Swift and actually listened to the lyrics,
Hmm.
I really hope that all of you do because I think that that is just like the foundation for this topic. Like, there are so many situations where men and women are expected to fill these specific types of roles in life in the world and the
Hmm.
way that they emote versus the way that they don't and the way that they hold themselves and the types of jobs that they fulfill and whatever that may be. And
Yeah.
it's like, why are we like this? And then for women
program.
in these villainous categories, it's like, would they be villains if they were men?
Yeah. No, probably not. Probably not. I mean, I'm super glad that they are the characters that they are because they have made a mark in pop culture, but at the same time, in real life, in real life,
In real life.
um, but we didn't. Well, I mean, I feel like you know what my answer is from a redemption standpoint. What's your redemption score for Dr. Montgomery?
Listen, I don't even know much about her. And what I do know, she gets a solid 10.
There we
Like,
go. But that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know, Court.
easy redemption. Like, she is not the bad guy at all.
She is not, not even a little. I love that you brought up the whole Meredith being the villain because I could talk about that for a whole 3 hours. But
Like, I understand she's Meredith. I get it.
yeah, I mean the show is named after her, so I guess,
Right.
I guess if we must. Um, I mean, but she did go off to have amazing, beautiful children, so I that's her redemption for me. 1,300 seasons later. She was redeemed in my eyes because she became a mom. But not that that's like not even a that actually is like a deeper dark hole that I just opened up there.
I'll let you have it for now.
She was redeemed when she became a mother. Outside of that,
Speaking from two women in their 30s who are not mothers. So it's great.
it's the honest truth here, guys. We just speak our minds and sometimes it doesn't flow out like it
What
should.
comes through, it's fine.
Oh gosh. But I mean, as we kind of said earlier, guys, like a few. These are just a few character examples that we can think of that are like top of mind. But I'm sure that you all have a couple of characters that are like misunderstood. I think about like Sharpay in High School Musical, right? She's set up to be a villain.
She just
She's
wants
like,
fabulous.
yeah, like she just wants to lead. Like, let the girl lead. You know what I mean? Let her and her brother lead. That's all they're looking for. They
Hmm.
just want to dance on tables. That's it. That's all they want. I don't know if do you watch Dexter?
No.
Have you heard of Dexter?
Yes.
I mean, Courtney, they've only had 8 spinoffs since the original, but Dexter is another one that is very could create some good conversation around is he a villain or is he truly a hero? Because spoiler alert, he kills people. Um, he kills people. Um, but they're the bad guys. But he's also still killing. So it's like it goes back to that incineration thing. Yes, you could have been incinerated, but I didn't incinerate you.
However, I made the choice not to.
Exactly. So there's a lot of characters out there, guys, that you could probably think of. Please do share down in the comments or whatever. It's such a fun conversation to have, but also real and true, right? Like we've all got our villain origin story somewhere in there, or we've probably been, to Courtney's point, a villain in our own story. And so hopefully you connected with this in our conversation that we had. We had a ton of fun talking about it and thinking of this topic. It could spawn some other episodes because I think there's just so much there. Um,
I think that this was a super amazing topic, and the amount of side notes and side conversations that C1 and I had while we were putting this together. We're
yeah,
gonna definitely have a lot of spin-offs from this episode down the line, so definitely stay tuned.
yes,
And I truly can't wait for some of those topics of conversation because I'm gonna throw some people under the rug and it's gonna be real great.
it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna
But
be but shout out to everyone who's in their villain era now because we see you, we understand you, and you know what? You might
yeah,
not even be the bad guy, so we get it. But
yeah.
just be the hero in your own story for now. And in the meantime, stay chaotic.
Stay comfy.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
y'all.